To a degree, the ego is necessary. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. When I say the ego is necessary, we're on a journey. Oftentimes, it is that ego that once we confront it, we are able to move forward on our journey. So I don't want to take away the importance it may have on certain people's journeys because it is a growth process. Now, do we want to operate from ego? Of course not. Of course we don't. We want to operate from our higher selves naturally. We know that. Um, and as far as disagreeable and agreeable energy, again, we're talking about levels. Um, there's many people who's going to deal with the individual self in regards to agreeable and disagreeable energy. That may be a barometer or a uh, stepping stone to them moving more into dealing with the aspect of the soul, so to speak, from a standpoint of agreeable energy. And the reason I'm explaining it this way is because I want I want everyone to feel that they're part of what I'm explaining and what I'm answering. So when we deal with that agreeable energy and disagreeable energy, we can deal with that on many different levels. Um, I know for me, when I deal with agreeable and disagreeable energy, a lot of times I do like to deal with creation and manifestation because I think that is a very, very, very important aspect of who and what we are, to be creator beings, co-creator beings, as well as to be manifestors as well. So I'll give you an example. So when I'm saying disagreeable energy, I'm referring to counter creativity, okay? Disagreeable energy. Now, if I say agreeable energy, I'm referring to creativity, okay? Now, what does this mean? If you're dealing with disagreeable energy, whether you're dealing with the individual or even if we're dealing with something more in depth like the soul or the spirit, if you're dealing with that energy, if that's the space that a person is in or the space that a person is allowing themselves to interface with, they are dealing with counter creation. Okay, this is not a space where a person would be able to create from their divine self, will be able to manifest from their divine self. Now, if we get into agreeable energy, okay, from the self on to the soul and the depths that it goes, okay, now you're dealing with the person who is not dealing with distraction, a person who's focused, a person who is tapping into their soul being, so to speak, and a person who is creating divinity, a person that is manifesting divinity, people who are going through high-end transformation, things of that nature. So that's kind of where I love to deal with it from that perspective, as far as agreeable and disagreeable energy. And I know there's many different perspectives. That's the perspective and kind of where I'm at right now, at the moment. However, it's definitely a progression, and I know, just based on my surroundings, I know that it is happening, just by how many more people are contacting me about the different types of information that we're dealing with. So I know that people are now becoming more aware in America because things are now, it's not covert anymore. Things are becoming very overt again. There was a lull where it wasn't as overt, but now things are becoming very overt again. And I think people, to a degree, also, it's difficult not to listen to that spirit, that intuition, and that divine self, because under all of the clutter, it's still there, and it still permeates itself because the power is so omnipotent. So definitely there is an awakening. And of course, we know that the system is doing everything that they can to stop that awakening. But that awakening is happening. Um, I'm just grateful that I could be of any assistance to anyone who's going through this process. you know, I'm just grateful that I've been able to listen to that innate essence, that intuition, that intrinsic self. And of course, I'm still going through the process as well. It's a lifelong journey, um, but I'm just grateful that I've been able to master some things and to be able to share that and to assist others, to assist them in moving forward. So definitely, it is an awakening. It's slower, I think, than you know in other places around the world. However, it is taking place. Um, there are people who are very genuine about the awakening. There are people who are really tapping into their power. There are people who do understand that there is a huge world outside of the ghetto, or a huge world outside of the university, or a huge world outside of this government, or a huge world outside of America in general. So definitely, there's an awakening. There's an expansion of consciousness and awareness. There are people who know that there is a superconscious mind that exists. They are tapping into that superconscious mind. They are doing the work that they need to do to tap into the superconscious mind. Um, there are people that's overstanding that they definitely need to deal with those experiences, past experiences and traumas that may be hindering them, so they can create new experiences for their subconscious mind. So it's happening. It's happening. And again, for me, this is a really exciting time. I'm happy to be here at this time, and I love seeing the growth